Hey Doki, so we are
live.
learning, and it's wonderful. Sefer Tanya, Perek, Vov, chapter 6. Can you believe we're getting so far into it? Simcha Gedola, Torah Simram Shnei Zalman of Liadi. We're dealing with a lot of difficult sugyas right now. Yesterday we spoke about the addict's mind. That was a good title that you came up with. The idea of being escapist in your ways, getting caught up in consciousness, not within your inside awareness, but crowns of impurity that pull you out of yourself and cause you to do things and act out in a way that's not good. This is all the opposite of the holy spheres and attributes that we spoke about, of Chacham Bin Das and Chesed Gevurah Tiferet Netzach Yisod Malchus, or the 10 spheres in the right way. This is all about the other side. And we're dealing with the other side. We're facing our stuff and not stuffing our face. We're learning stuff that's challenging. And it's
our stuff in our face.
Yeah, and we get to the end of this paragraph and we ended off with Keheles and a Zohar, that it causes the ruination of spirit when a person's thoughts, action and speech is working for the wrong side. And it's read, and we also from the Keheles, it's all Hevel Avolim, like it's however what a person can get caught up with if he gets pulled into this other side, like the Grammys kind of thing. Ras Roach, he gets pulled into the Grammys and ends up being nonsense.
To the Grammys, you said?
Yeah, the guy who won it got arrested. I mean, like the same night, kind of.
Yeah.
Clever. Yeah, the same night.
Won the main award?
He won like 3 awards or something, and then he got arrested.
What he was arrested for?
Hit someone in the face or something.
At the Grammys?
Something like that.
What a class act.
Yeah, real quality people. Anyway, Shem Shemena. This is like this is where what we're discussing is this kind of clever, yeah. Unfortunately, they're looked up as the role models of the new generation, and they're absolutely the opposite.
Israel, which is eliminating
Hamas
animals.
Yeah.
Nice.
My son called us last night. Finally, should dedicate to the Malachi Elikim, the ones who are serving Hashem Be'emes out there in the freezing cold and down south in Gaza and Khan Yunis. He's right in the center of Khan Yunis, and he's finally given them a ability to call because they're not letting them go home like other units, and they're keeping them there. And there's no date when they're said, because they all thought they were about to, another week or so come home, and it looks like no. So they're letting them cool instead, but they were all in a very low state, unfortunately, because they're just burnt out and tired and sick. A lot of them are sick. The breathing there is really not good. Like, it's not a good situation over there in terms of the air and the germs and the...
Oh, because of the destruction.
Yeah, and he's feeling really not healthy at all. But they're pushing him.
Probably not eating well either.
Yeah, and they're pushing them. They are managing to get hold of some resources from just the reality, but it's difficult, really hard. But he's trying to keep strong, and he knows he's doing something special, and he's been given a kibbutz, having the negativist position and everything else. But it's getting to a difficult stage, where they need to just...
They can't just swap him out and bring in a new one?
That's what I think, and that's what most people want to happen, but maybe the other people don't have as much experience or ability, so they're worried if they bring in some other fresh people, they might, not really be able to handle it,
Wow.
So...
how many chevra are in his group?
His specific team is around 20-something people, and originally his unit was hundreds and hundreds, but it's all been in I don't know, the last month or so since North Gaza, they sort of moved into like super units, like combat units where they have like a combination of all different skills and abilities combined.
Wow. And he has like a machine gun.
Yeah, it's a negativist position. You stand there with a big gun, like guarding and leading the front and shooting a lot of bullets.
Jeez. Is it insensitive to ask him when he's back, like what his kill count was?
Yeah, people have asked me that. I don't know. I didn't ask him.
It's like a weird thing to ask, right?
Yeah, because maybe he doesn't always know, like based on...
Doesn't know.
Yeah, like based on the fact that they're in a situation and not like counting who they killed. They're just trying not to die and make sure they get rid of the enemy, whoever kills them.
And they're just connected to Hashem.
Yeah. It's the only answer, really. And that's all the kind of conversation my wife had with him. Just gave him a lot of chizuk, because that's all you can do. Just say how proud we are.
I think
how much everyone's davening and caring about them. Just make them feel appreciated, so they don't feel like they're just wasting their time for people that don't care. You know, people are just getting on with their lives, kind of thing. That you make them feel that us getting on our lives, we realize and we recognize that's because of what they're doing. That we can go, you can worry about your kid going to yeshiva today, and I can be worried about my kid going to work, and I can worry about my kids, or not even worry, just be excited, get involved in getting our children to where they need to go to a normal day.
Wow.
That's what we can do, and we can sit and learn Tanya without missiles flying at us and running into bomb shelters.
Right. So it's in his chus no matter what.
Yes, we have to make sure the soldiers know that, because otherwise they, after time, the problem is with the time factor.
Right.
Initially, there's a lot of adrenaline and energy.
Right.
But when you're in a cold, unhealthy environment, eventually, you get a bit burnt out. Yeah.
Yeah.
To constantly be motivated. Look, even in YIDDISH, even for me, just to come up here to go learn. I was cold out there. It was raining, cloudy. I couldn't see anything. And it's just like
can't see anything.
I just I don't have a car. I walked up the hill. That much I managed. But to get all the way here, it was like I just need a bit of help today. I mean, the Shemayim bus came, so it made it easier. But if the bus hadn't come, I was just like standing there.
Wow.
I just didn't have the car. Like, I know it sounds weak, and I'm thinking of my son. Like he can't say that. He's in a situation of war. So I don't know. Like we got to sort of fight our way through it. Everybody, and keep davening for everyone and everything we do have in mind. Chayin kol devarim says where we're holding. Chayin kol devarim or deburim. Sorry, chayin kol deburim. V'chol hamachshavos asher lo laHashem heimel l'ritzano v'rasa. Similarly, all words and all thoughts that are not directed to Hashem and to His will. Yeah, what happens with those? Are all garments for the animal soul. So look, this is exactly what my wife is saying to him. To my son, we are thinking for Hashem, we're thinking for our soldiers, we're thinking for a higher cause than just everyday life. And that's how really a Jew has to be every day, always, all the time for Hashem. We have to all the time direct our thoughts, our speech, all the levushim towards Hashem. Otherwise, it gets pulled towards the animal soul. Mm-hmm. The clothing of the animal soul. There perish loshen sitra achra, perish sadacher, she'enu sada kedusha. This meaning of term is sitra achra, literally the other side, not the side of holiness. This is really important concept, and I would say, hesitant to say it, but I think it's true, that the Baal Shem Tov had a clout. You're either serving Hashem or you're serving Avodah Zarah.
Right.
There's no in between.
There's no neutrality.
Yeah. It's either Hashem,
really
Eino Mavada, or something else. Yeah.
Right.
And that's the constant birur we have to make in a real way. Because when it says in Gemara, you get angry, it's kilu avodah zarah. You get angry, it's like you did avodah zarah. Yeah. So that's strong language from Chazal. But when you understand it according to the Baal Shem Tov, it's a very clear and truthful way of understanding relationship. You're either focused on God or you're focused on something else, and it has to be that kind of clarity. And that asks a lot of us to constantly, not just cruise through Judaism. It's asking us to be really intentional and focused on. Otherwise, look, we don't want our mitzvahs and Yiddishkeit energy going towards the other side.
Right.
But that's unfortunate.
You're either in the problem or in the solution.
Yeah.
You're either with us or you're against us.
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
V'sada kedusha eina ela hashara hamshacha mekudashasa shel Kodesh Baruch Hu. The side of holiness, but nothing but the indwelling extension of Hashem's holiness. Because that's the point. It's eina nevada. Right, we're saying from the Baal Shem.
Hamshacha. Right. You're very into the hamshacha here.
Yeah, indwelling, extension.
Is the extension.
Shara is indwelling, and hamshacha is extension.
Right.
Ve'eina Kodesh Baruch Hu shara ela al davar shebatel etzlo yisbarach. God, Hashem only dwells on something that is bottled to Him. Yeah, it's a famous concept. It can't be me and Hashem. You know what I mean?
Right. There's no I in God.
Yeah, because it's like, what do you mean? Who's dwelling here, Hashem or you, your ego? Yeah.
Right.
So that once again, it really comes back to that whole idea of ego. It's edging God out.
Yeah.
Vein Paul
presence will
Mamish
only rest on the feet.
Kamalachim Elyonim. That whether it's Paul Mamish Kamalachim Elyonim. And this is visible in surrounded being external, as in the case with the supernal angels. Yeah, the Malachim Elyonim, how do we see it? Mamish, yeah? How do we see that in real, actual case, in a visible way? Being Paul Mamish, yeah? How do we see it? Malachim Elyonim. The angels are completely bottled to what Hashem wants.
Right.
The difference is with us, when we do it, we have to bottle our yesh. They b'metzias are going to do Ratzon Hashem.
Right.
We have Bechira, they don't.
Right.
We have to choose to do Ratzon Hashem. But that's what we are here for, constantly choosing Hashem. Wake up in the morning, Hashem chose us, and we choose B'cham Yisrael. We choose Hashem, Hashem chooses us. It's constant choice, relationship.
Right. I guess like B'pol Mamish, Kamalachim Elyonim, or Bein B'koach. I'm not sure what those mean.
The Bein B'koach, whether it's potential, Koach is potential.
Right, here it was
Koach
lies
Pal,
dormant.
Pal is actual.
Right, Koach Ma.
Yeah, Koach Ma. We call Ish Yisrael, and that's also in a bottle. Koach Ma, Chochma is all, when it's done properly, is bitter yesh.
Right.
Because Ma means what? What am I? Kol Ish Yisrael Lamata, as in the case of every Jew, here below, Shebekocho Lios Bottle Mamish Legabe Kodesh Baruch Hu B'Mesiris Nafsha Al Kedushas Hashem. So really what we have to live, and this is something we have to push ourselves and ask ourselves honestly, when we're saying Kriya Shema, for example, that's a good time to think about it. Are we saying it both morning and night, and at Kriya Shema Shalamita, when you're lying on your bed? Are you saying this with Mesiris Nefesh? Are you completely sending yourself towards Hashem? Because it doesn't seem like there's any other way to go. Yeah? Like, it's getting to that point, like I was saying tomorrow, like we don't really have time or ability to have much fun in life anymore. You know, like just like go out somewhere nice, do something, you know, other than getting a drink somewhere local. But I'm talking about like, you know, people go on these vacations to Aruba. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah,
cruise.
I don't even like. It's not even like on our, you know, radar. Start arranging our Pesach holidays or you know, our summer holidays. I'm sure people in this community are doing that, and we don't have ability. It's not even like, it's just like, what's the point?
Right.
It's just like not musag. So it's a different, like, you know, so then what you got to be Masa Nefesh. You got to like think about Pesach and not Mesiras Nefesh. I got to get myself to the head where I'm going to clean my house. I'm going to work hard and figure out how to make Yom Tov here in Eretz Yisrael, in my house as is, and figure out how to use the time to serve Hashem on Pesach. Same to summertime. There's no escape. I've got no mummy, daddy to go fly my family to, who are going to look after me. Yeah, so I've got to figure out, like, you know, like, or pay for me to go fresh in some hotel somewhere. I don't have that option.
Right.
So I've got to figure out, like, what am I going to do for my family that's, you know, part of Ratzon Hashem. And you get to a certain point, and like, at the same time, like for us right now, where we're at, we're looking at, you know, my son and Azza, and that's like almost like the main thing that we're like hoping for. So we're not hoping for a holiday, we're hoping for our son gets out alive, you know?
Right.
That's like, that would be like our simcha and our celebration for this time period. The son makes it through healthy and alive.
Right. Yeah, I mean.
So, but that, it's a different kind of metzias than up until now, since the Second World War, unless you're living in like, you know, communist Russia or somewhere, most people were thinking about their 2-week a year holiday and you know, all the hard work I do during the year. How can I get to where I can relax for a minute? Whereas now it's like a certain point where the world's changing, where it's just about Mesiras Nefesh. There's nothing else. Like, you don't even know if like what's going to come tomorrow. You got to live today, and you're going to serve Hashem with your reality, and that is the truth, and it sort of focuses you away from all the escapist stuff that is connected to ego, because there can't be any ego involved. You have to be batul mamish legabe kodesh baruch hu b'mesiras nafsha al kedushas Hashem. Now this is something that Noam Elimelech says when you're sitting batul, you're sitting for a moment. Yeah, you put away the phone. You're not looking at the phone now. You've turned it off at the end of the night, and you're lying in bed. What can you think about? So one of the things he says, you should think about being Moshe Nefesh, your soul. Did you ever do that? It's based on Sel Khan. You think about now, what if there was a fire? For the sake of Hashem, would I be willing to give my life up? Like that kind of Mesiras, those kind of machshavas. And the Tanya expects us to do that is based on Yiddishkeit. I mean, it's like he's not asking it. It's a reality. It's either this or other worship. It's Mesiras Nefesh or not. Or there's no like in between.
Right,
You can't live.
You're either in the
You're in your game.
Kedusha or you're not.
Yeah. It's a very clear bureau, and it's really important to learn this and think about it and try and bring it into our life.
Right.
And as I said, Shema would be a good place to do it, to discipline yourself when you've got a quiet moment, to discipline yourself, to think about I'm willing to give up my life for Hashem. That's where I'm at. This is why I said it's L'chein Amru B'Seinu Zal.
Oh, L'chein. I
Yeah.
just want to read this last
Yeah,
one.
go on.
This is deep stuff here.
Yeah.
The lowest bittul of subconsciousness. Right.
What's he talking about? The subconscious number?
A Hasidic thought.
Yeah.
In its unenlightened state, my animal soul can appreciate only tangible reality. It lacks the tools to modify that perception, to see itself as divine. Meaning the essence of the animal soul is just to be in the ego.
Ego.
And then not only that, it can. That's how it's made. Like it's not that that's its default programming.
Right.
It's to see itself separate from God, to see itself separate from everything else, to see itself in this fragmented world, and you're just stuck in this self-preservation, self-interest.
Yeah.
The divine soul sees right through that false exterior of things and is connected to the divine between it. And the challenge is to lift myself.
It's interesting. It reminded me last night. I was watching an interview before I went to sleep. It helped me go to sleep. I was watching an interview between the Prime Minister of England and PM versus PM. PM is Piers Morgan, yeah, an English dude, yeah.
Right.
And it was an interesting conversation. I mean, they spoke about Israel. That's the reason why I was listening into it. Because he, thank God, has the right headspace towards us generally.
Who does?
For a non-Jewish Prime Minister, he's pretty much like on the right wavelength in terms of how he wants to do about anti-Semitism, and without getting onto the political points, maybe the two states nonsense is where he fails. But there's always that. But even that, he wasn't like pushing it. He says that's a goal of the government. He didn't say himself, but he said that when it's not the time now. So at least he's being somewhat realistic. But the point is, it was pretty good hearing the English Prime Minister be so on the right wavelength as a non-Jew. But one thing that was sad to hear when Piers Morgan, on the way to interviewing him, he asked just stunned people what do they want, and so what they all want what self-interest. They all want less taxes on them, less financial burden on themselves. That's what they want. Yeah?
Right.
Which is fair enough, because the government is overly involved in people's lives nowadays, and I do think they need to back off, big time.
Step off,
Because it's just taking too much out of our resources, and we can't, as individuals and smaller businesses, be able to go forward. It's hard, and even if you're working for the government, you're getting not paid enough because there's too much tax, it's too much encroachment on our lives. Right. So, on a certain level, what saddens me is that no one said to him anything more elevated. What positively can they do, as a people, as a nation, to make a better place to live, Right. More kindness, more charity focus, more. Can the government encourage more unity in the population? No one's speaking that way.
Right.
There's nothing positive. It's all just how self-interest, and that's where humanity needs to have a big ticket. And you can't blame it on the government, can't blame it on anybody. It's like a general
just a selfish
malaise.
world.
Whereas when you're learning Tanya, you see that it's giving you the answer for humanity, that it's about bitul hayesh. It's about nullification of the ego, to have a higher cause, and that higher cause will bring humanity to a better service of Hashem, and it will impact, obviously, everything. Everybody around us will have values of godly values, which obviously means kindness and tzedakah. No one's going to go around killing each other, just stunned because you've had a bad hair day or something. No one's going to go around stealing because you have a munah and Hashem. God, if a real, not this false religions that are around, but a real focused connection to God will just elevate everything you're doing and all of humanity. It's just a matter of us getting these truths into our lives and transmitting it, globally. But it's a very intense level of bittul, which maybe the world's not ready for. Maybe only Mashiach can create such a level of bittul, meaning like sort of a general godly revelation can bring the world to such a level of bittul. But Am Yisrael, at least us, who have these Torahs, we need to be ready for it. So it's almost like crucial for us to learn this and become this, because there's no other way. It's not fundamentalistic or crazy. It's the only solution to human problems,
right?
Because it's allowing God's presence on the Shama to coexist in Olam Hazeh, and without it, look what takes its place. The Grammys, for example, monsters, a nightmare. וכן בכל איש ישראל למטה, שבכל להיות בתו ממש לגבי הקדוש ברוך הוא מסירת נפשו וקדושת השם. לכן אמר בזמן זהו, שאפילו אחד שישב ועוסק בתורה, שכינה שורה וכו'. This is why our sages have said that if one individual sits and engages in Torah and study, divine presence rests upon him. The divine presence rests upon him. בכל ביוד בי עשר שכינתי שורה לעולם. And this is the famous, I think this is Zohar, no? Let's see underneath. Oh, it's a Gemara in Sanhedrin. It's from Chazal. V'chol bei asar shrinta shorei le'olam. On each gathering, 10 Jews, divine presence rests upon them. So it doesn't even say what they're doing. Just 10 Jews get together, Shekhinah rests there. The Shekhinah, Hashem's presence, is there. Just by 10 Jews coming together. That's the Kedusha of Am Yisrael.
Because here the Tanya draws them this idea that there is an ever-present.
Yeah. Because the first statement is based on Perek Avos, that when one person sits and learns the Torah, the Shekhinah rests upon him. So you have to learn Torah to bring the Shekhinah. But the second statement is 10 Jews just being together. The Shekhinah comes to rest.
Right, what he's trying to say here, according to how Chaim Miller is saying that, in a subconscious layer of your soul, bittul is present. The door in bittul is sufficient to enable God's presence to enter. Meaning, even if we're sitting and we're learning, or even if we're...
Well, the sitting and learning is pretty obvious. Bringing Hashem's
one
Shekhinah.
person sits and studies.
That's a Chiddush, one person. Because he's only him by himself. Not like he's with a minyan or a zimun. He's by himself, and yet he's bringing Hashem's name, like we had at the end of last week's parsha. It says at the end of last week's parsha that you mention my name, I will come bless you.
Wow.
Even
when you're just with 10 people. Are they talking about davening or they're just saying?
No, just sing. Just 10 Jews together.
Just chilling.
Yeah, even I hesitate to say it again, but they go to the Knesset. Yeah, and I don't mean the base Knesset, because I used to say that taxi driver, make them laugh. Take me to the base Knesset, because I used to go to the Rose Gardens next to it.
Right.
And I call it the base Knesset, make them laugh.
Knesset.
They'd laugh. But you go to the Knesset, just MASHA Knesset, where
the garden there is beautiful.
Yeah, the Rose Gardens is very nice.
That's on top
it's
of
gone dates.
Saka,
Yeah,
right?
I used to go on dates with my wife there all the time. So Scan Vered, I think it's called, Rose Garden. Anyway, so I go into you go into Knesset and there's 10 Jews there. I don't care what their days and their political opinions are and everything else. At the end of the day, 10 Jews sitting there, Shekhinah comes. They could be talking nonsense. They could literally just be talking about the latest game of football, the Beitar Yerushalayim lost in the last few minutes, or whatever nonsense goes on in the world. Yeah, this just happened this week.
Beitar Yerushalayim.
Literally lost. Yeah,
they lost.
Yeah, like last 2 minutes, my son was there. Yeah. Suddenly they were winning, and then 2 minutes later they lost.
To go to games. I have to figure out.
Ari Turks is going with my son.
Oh yeah, when is it?
Maybe speak to him about it.
My son wants to go.
Speak to Ari Turks because he's going to go every son, and then he can go as a kufsa, more safe.
What?
It's a bit more safe that way because it's a bit of a balagan there.
Why?
It's football hooligans.
It's all Israelis though.
Yeah, but they're tough. They're not like you think.
I'm just gonna sit there and mind my own business. They're gonna jump on me.
No, don't jump on you, but just be aware. Just it's good to have an adult around because it's like people are throwing like smoke bombs and.
Oh mamash.
Yeah, like I can show you my son's YouTube channel. It's not like a relaxed energy. It's not like a cricket match or something. It's like it's football. It's intense. No. Maybe, I don't know. It's pretty high level, high energy there. That's for sure.
Basketball game instead.
Anything, however, that does not surrender itself to Hashem, Elohu daven nifra b'pnei atzmo, but considers itself as this separate being unto itself. Eina mekabel chayas mekadushas shel Kodesh Baruch Hu. So does not receive life from the holiness of Hashem. So you hear that? There's another important statement. You don't surrender yourself to Hashem, and you start saying, "I'm the man." Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the man. Yeah.
Amen.
He does not receive his life holiness from Hashem. Like the only answer to all these problems is bittul yesh. Nullify your ego. If you start getting caught up with the yesh, you start thinking I'm something in a way that's nifrad from Hashem. You're not giving any credit to Hashem. Like what happened to in the wars when Kochim Etzim Yodi, the army starts saying like, I won the war. I had good army. When they start talking that way, then it just falls apart long term. It doesn't work. Because then they make stupid moves, and then mistakes lead to more mistakes and serious nafkaminas, people's lives, and
right.
we're all going for a general challenge in that way. But yeah.
Mibechinas penimis hagedusha.
Yeah.
Nehusa va'atzmusa v'chvodo va'atzmo.
Yeah. So he's saying that the penimis kadosha, the Alter Rebbe is saying that he's not receiving it from Panemius, of holiness, the inner aspect of holiness. It's Esenko, but it's Achraim, it's hind part. Yeah. So basically, when you connect to someone, it's like once again, it's the difference between going to a tzaddik like I did the Shabbos and looking at his holy ponim and mekabeling the Torah and the hashbaz from a tzaddik, someone who's facing you, or watching the Grammys and watching these, sorry to be so crude, but watching these women with their giant behinds parade, because that's become a whole thing, and you're receiving from the achraim, literally, from the tuchas, instead of the ponim. You're getting the backside, the hinder part, instead of you're receiving from a tzaddik, ponim b'ponim, Hashem shining at you.
A good piece of the steak.
If you want.
Getting the stringy meat.
Yeah, it's you could bring it to a physical muscle, but the point is, bottom line is that it's you want to come upon him. You want to be face to face with your maker, with your rebbe, with your wife. You want to be upon him. You want to be able to look at each other and feel that intense connection. And whereas if you're not doing, then you're receiving it from behind. Like Hashem is going to give you what you need, because Hashem's a Baal Chesed and is Hazanas HaKol. He's Mefanis everything. And there's a whole world of being Mefanis from Hashem right now. We see it, billions of people. But they're not getting it ponim or ponim. They're not getting it from the source of Kedusha, from Pnimia Kedusha. To get to the Pnimia of Kedusha, Masal Asmosa B'Kavadu Atzmo, it takes a certain level of bittul yesh, a certain understanding of that we need to nullify ourselves in Nifnei Hashem.
Yeah.
We say it every day in davening, YITZCHAK, that you give life to everything. Yeah. So that's when we give our tzedakah according to the minhag. Yeah. You see, Rav Shlomo every day goes straight to the bimah and puts the shekel in. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it says in the minhag of tefillah. The understanding that Hashem's mechaya everything, every day, all the time. He's mechaya everything. He's giving life to nourishment to everything, and you're tuning into that panemius truth. It's not just externally, God above, the way that world talks. This concept of this distant God who created world at some point, and now nothing to do with you really. No, it's not God above. It's you don't exist without being tapped into Hashem Yisra'el on the most panemius level.
Right.
It says panemius hakadosha mahusa atzmusa b'kavodo va'atzma. It's the most intimate, intense, essential core. That's where we want to be drawing our vitality from, not from the behind. Yeah, literally. Yeah, which is that's where the world's going. It's showing what it is.
Yeah,
it gets its energy from the behind of these disgusting beasts. They're beasts. They're not spiritual people. They're they're disgusting. Who knows where that's been and what it's been involved with? Yeah.
Yikes.
And it's just a disgusting reality. That's what people are looking at and getting excited about. Instead of the ponim of a person. What happened to and not this made up fake version with all these rubber lips and stuff. The real panemius of a person, the soul. It's so dumb. The person wants to marry these like plastic dolls, literally. It's what it is. They want to marry real souls anymore. People that this person's going to care for your children.
Yeah.
It's going to you're going to become one with this person. You want to become one with this plastic piece of nonsense?
Yeah.
It's
terrible.
Yeah, it's so disconnected from.
That's hilarious that a guy got arrested.
Yeah. No, but it's not just that. Even just the people on the stage.
Classic.
They're just monsters. They're
all just walking klipas.
Yeah, it's like, and that's what the world's looking up to, as if they're like got something to say, and they've been brainwashed, and kids are dancing to it. Why aren't they dancing to something panemius, something real?
At least like the Grateful Dead. That was some panemius.
Yeah, I mean there was some kind of request for spirituality.
Yeah.
I mean, you can even Melamed Sus and the people at the Nova Festival. At least they were going there looking for more spiritual experience than what goes on these like Grammy kind of rubbish.
Yeah.
They were trying to connect into like the more spiritual side of themselves, of soul and music and
love.
Yeah, fine. It's not like Torah. It's not like YITZCHAK, but it's a quest. It's a quest they're looking for that inner spark. They didn't see it in the Torah because they were given a very dry, religious experience most of them, when they went to the system and the school. They didn't get to learn about relationship with God in a panemi way. They didn't go to a tzaddik and dance. Like see Rabbi Biederman dancing and see like Bowman, see the fire, the panemius within of a tzaddik. Or even during the year, he's just always on fire for Hashem, such a person. They didn't see that.
Right.
My daughter got chizuk just looking at the whole Shuva Bonim story, even though it's not our path, but seeing like all the women, because you could see from the window when we stayed in Yerushalayim, all the women jumping for Hashem, and clapping. It's Berlin. So they have a whole massive women congregation. It's not for us, it's not our path, but just knowing that there's people out there that are they're like determined on connecting to God every Shabbos. They're standing out in the cold and rain with intense levels of sneers. Maybe that's too extreme in my opinion, but nevertheless,
those ones are dressed in hijabs.
Yeah, sharkas they call them. Yeah,
sharkas.
But Weinberger's not into it at all. But the point, nevertheless, whatever you tiny can say and all the la, but when you see them serving Hashem, like my daughter watched from the window, they're really serving Hashem. Like they really mean it. They're clapping and the cold is not the issue. They just want to serve Hashem and they want to be close to the tzaddik. So without all the issues that comes with that path, just focusing on the pure panemius, so they want to connect to Hashem. That's once again, that's what we have to look at. Same with the Nova Festival. Deep down, I think most of the people there want to connect to God. Right. This is how they've got understood how they can do it. Yeah, through the music and the experience. Can we create that opportunity in YITZCHAK? We have to work on it. We have to be first. We have to ourselves just.
It's like the monsters from next door here.
Yeah.
So when those people scream out in the name of their made-up version, So Lamaisa, they're grabbing from the
behind. It's Achraim. Because they are saying God. They're just the behind of God. Because Hashem's saying, maybe you shouldn't be killing people. Yeah, I told you, Lord. Lord Tirtzach, I told the world that you can't. It's even the 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach. You can't go around just killing. Yeah, you don't have that authority to just decide who lives, who dies. Who are you to decide that? And they go around thinking that they have that authority. They're going to.
How in 2024 we live in a world where there are people who they celebrate murder, they celebrate rape, they celebrate butchering of human beings, and there is a huge amount of people in the world that are defending them.
Yeah,
it's such a chiddush.
No, but it's not a chiddush if the music industry and the culture that offers apparently the moral equivalent is completely immoral. So if everything's become just one big immoral mess, so then it makes sense that this is the people are going to come up with these false ways of understanding, because then they feel like they have a purpose. I was here listening to Jordan Peterson, and he was explaining that the whole reason why people go and get so involved in external causes is because they know inside they're not facing their inner demons, their inner realities, their inner problems.
Right.
And when they go outside and they see that it's a very deep human need to make themselves feel like they're part of something worthy. So they'll grab onto whatever seems to be the trend of worthy. Right now, that's the trend.
Right.
It's a trend to support the Palestinians for some reason. Shem Shemainu. Shlomo doesn't want me to say those words.
Yeah.
Yeah, to support those people. Yeah. That's the trend right now.
Right.
Now, is that
They're not people.
is that corruption of morality? Yes. Is it going to help people feel better? Superficially, yes, it does. They feel better. They feel they're doing something that they feel is like whatever the cause is now, you know?
Right.
But like BLM a few years back, I also protested on their behalf. It became a bankrupt bunch of nonsense.
They're like a bunch of
and
bots.
they wasted a few years of protesting and millions of dollars of damage, and no one was really held accountable. Yeah. Which is another thing. If no one's ever held accountable, so then if the government don't demonstrate there's accountability for your actions, and everyone can just get away with all this kind of stuff, so then there's no disincentive and there's no incentive to find out what the real thing is, because it's just a one big mess.
That's what's happening in New York City with the crime.
Yeah. So you have to get the only solution to human issues is truth and the neshama and Hashem Yisbarach. It's the only solution. So people need to start getting values again. They need to go back to their soul. They need to go inward. Stop looking for these external causes. They need to go inward to the soul level and find the soul level is the only pure place that hasn't been messed up by humanity and by media and by everything else. It's the only place which is still pure and will communicate the truth to you, your own soul, and the soul of humanity as a whole. And the revelation of Torah. And that's why I wrote a book called United Souls, because I see very clear with technology and everything else, it's the only thing that technology can't create is soul. So it needs us as humankind to bring in, what makes us human is we have a soul. It's not enough just to be able to speak. So what? Some animals speak in other ways. So what? That's not going to make, what makes us unique and gives us purpose and clarity is what we're doing now, learning Torah and connecting to the soul. The limited form of life reaches a klipot by descending degree by degree through myriads of levels and chain-like descent, the worlds in a manner of cause and effect. It's like we learned yesterday. There's going to be, even in these klipas, eventually it will go back to this millionim levels of life force descending through degree to degree, myriad of levels. Whatever myriad means, thousands and thousands of levels.
Thousands, it says.
Yeah, tens of thousands. In a chain-like descent of the world in a manner of cause and effect.
Right.
So coming down until you get this experience of what we're dealing with nowadays. But it's only Hashem who's vivifying it. But just it's coming from the other side. It's the hinder part. It's from the hind part, so to speak. Yeah, it's not coming straight from Hashem.
Right.
Like what Am Yisrael need to do when we learn Torah in the minyan. There's a Shechina Shora, Simsim Rabbim. There's many Simsumim that are coming down till we get to this world. Ad shenisma'et kol kach or hachayas. So greatly diminished does the light force become, miut acher miut. Yeah, limit after limit, ad sheyocho lesamsem isvabush bechinas golas. So does the light and the life force become, minute after minute, until it is able to become what? Contracted and clothed in a manner of exile. That's where we end up. The life force gets clothed in the manner of Golas, of exile. And that's all the stuff we were talking about, what's going on in the US and in Eretz Yisrael. It becomes a Golas revelation of Hashem from the other side.
So he's talking about the life force of, let's say, evil.
Or pretty much. You might say what it is.
Lack of bittul, let's say.
Yeah.
Or if you're either serving Hashem or you're not. This is the process of which that energy, that divine light, we'll call it, because the MASHA, even though it's not from Hashem, the good part, there is no bad part, but it's not from the, what's the word to use?
Yeah.
It's not from the panemius hakadusha.
Kedusha mahusa atzmusa b'kavoda v'atzuma, like the most essential.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's what it's spelled with the atzma.
Atzma, yeah. Yeah. It comes from the hind part.
Yeah.
And it goes from many, many steps all the way down till it's shtalshalis, all the way through simsumim rabim, many, many contractions of this. Or in chias miut, achamiut, ad, sheochel isamsem, lesabish bechinis galas, toch osa dava nifrad. This is the important word. This is going to go into explain it. Toch, into this thing, nifrad, that's separate, lacheosa lakaima ma'ayin la'esh.
Right.
And it goes into this thing that separates itself from holiness, giving it in vitality existence. And it's just like the truth of creation, ma'ayin la'esh, that it's coming from nothing to existence, being allowed to exist. It's amazing if you think about it. Hashem right now is causing to exist this whole false reality.
So yesh me'ayin.
Yeah, this whole group of people, and there are probably millions or maybe billions of them, who don't care about him, who don't think about him and don't want a connection with him, and they really believe that they're communists or whatever crappy agenda it is, excuse my language, whatever it is, that they really believe that this is what is good for humanity.
Right.
And they go work for it all day, every day. But this is a reality, and Hashem's giving them life from nothing. They don't even need to. Hashem could just say, "You don't exist today. Goodbye.
That would be nice.
Enough of you guys. Yeah, you don't have any recognition of me. Why should I create you again?" But he's constantly, again and again.
So he's not going to explain why. Here he comes explains how.
From ayin liyesh, again and again. This is something that's nifrad from his kedusha.
So that's the how. The question is the why, right? Why does he allow it to happen?
Well, I mean, let's see. Let's not give up on a why answer. We need to keep learning the how first to get. You have to really get into the how, because sometimes the how will in itself give you an indication towards the why. Because once you understand how it works,
why?
Yeah, very good. Why? Once you get there, that's what he makes a joke when he was born. His mum was like, why? Yeah, he says that as a joke. Says not return to its original state of non-existence as it were before it was created by the vitality clothed in it. In brief, let's read what the brief is, the summary. Although it's not surrendered to God, but considers itself separate from Him, like most of the world nowadays, I would say, receives its vitality from a chrayim of godliness by way of numerous descents and various contractions. Divine force is concealed within it in a state of exile, that it belongs to the realm of klipot. It is now clear why any thought, word, or action not directed towards serving Hashem, not surrendered to godliness as a common animal soul derives from the klipot. Even if that thought, word, or... So we all have this. You don't have moments you're not surrendered to God. Right. Yeah, you know what it says in Shulchan Aruch, and you don't do it. You don't have those moments. I have those moments, so I'm not surrendering myself to God. I don't have excuses. He didn't pay my water bill today. I don't know, whatever the lame reason is.
Right.
Yeah. I banged my toe. Yeah. I didn't get a raise, so I'm frustrated with you, God. So I'm not interested in it's like you're having like a boigas of Hashem.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous, because really He is the key to everything. He's the source of everything, and our job is to be butter to Him. So it's really a nonsense when we do that. We're allowing ourselves to get caught up in klippos. We have to break those klippos, and mavato our das to Hashem, and mavato all our wisdom, our knowledge, our understandings, and get in tune with Ratzon Hashem, and that's 24/7. It's not like a Shabbos. Shabbos I'm a Yid. The rest of the week I'm a whatever. It's a 24/7 lifestyle of avoda, truth, reality check. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah. So our nefesh Bahamas is so sophisticated.
Yeah.
It sounds like sometimes I feel like the Tanya doesn't spend enough time explaining how sophisticated our actual nefesh Bahamas is.
He's saying here, it's not clear why any thought, word, or action not direct to God, hence not surrendered to godliness, is a garment of animal soul. He says itself, it is now clear, sorry. It's not clear, it is now clear that there's a garment of animal soul derives to keep it, even if that thought, word, or spirit is not actually evil. So it's not evil. Right. He's not titling it evil.
Right.
That's important chiluk here. He's not calling it evil, he's just calling it that's what it is.
Right.
That that's what's happening in that reality of creation, that it's no longer bottled to him, but gets giving chiyas and vitality to the sitra achra, to the klippos.
Well, we're also, and that thought is
doesn't necessarily mean evil.
No, he's
Evil
talking
is then when you
specifically
go
about neutral.
kill loads of people because of that reality state you're in. Yeah, that you're caught up with this animal soul. You start acting on the animal soul in the full sense, in the worst way. Do forbidden things. But you're not doing forbidden things. You're just in a Messias where you're not bottled to Hashem.
Right.
So that you just have to know what you're giving chiyas and where you're getting your chiyas from is from the other side.
Yeah.
So you're not tuned into the pnimis of kedusha, of holiness.
Right.
You're not enveloped in the Ratzon Hashem. So it could be happening on a momentary level within each person. You don't even have to go outside of yourself to discuss this. It could be completely an inner conversation. It doesn't have to be like you have to take such extreme examples like I did at the beginning of this. It's just, you could just go straight into your inner world and be honest that on a daily level you're fluctuating back and forth between serving Hashem and being bottled to serving your animal soul and not being bottled. And that makes a difference where your chiyas and your energy and your vitality is coming from and going to.
Right.
Nikra olam hazeh, malo olam haklipas asitra achra. That's why this world, with all of it contained, is called the world of klipot and sitra achra. Since the creature of this physical world feel themselves to be independent, separate beings, and their surrender to godliness is not apparent, that belongs to the realm of klipa.
Right. Yeah,
and we'll end off with this. Yeah.
The natural disposition of physical beings is very to this part. Is to sense their own autonomous existence and see the world as having inherently reality outside of God. The predominant energy of the world then is klipa and sitra achar.
Yeah, what does Shakespeare say? I think, therefore I am.
I think, therefore I am. Exactly, yeah. That's exactly what he's talking about.
It was Shakespeare, wasn't it?
I think that was Shakespeare, or therefore.
Or no, it was some famous philosopher. I forgot. Nietzsche or someone.
Right.
Oh, I remember. Thank God I forget all that stuff I learned when I was a kid. So we're going to start next time on the note, but let's just read this last line. This is why all affairs of the world are severe and evil and the wicked prevail in it. So now you understand why you got a president like Biden and we got a political system in Eretz Yisrael like we have. Because unfortunately, we're not in Gula yet. We're not in a time where the world is bottled to Hashem. Right. Interesting. And we're going to have to explain that out, that statement, how by the time you get down to this world of Asiya, of this lower level world, that it's mostly Klipa, it's mostly Klipa and the negative forces running this story.
Interesting.
Because it just gives it a certain perspective, and that it's very important to learn. For me personally, I need to learn this because you can get very frustrated. You can start thinking like, how can it be like so much evil going on? My grandma used to sit there and she'd just get so angry. Like I wouldn't want to bring up children anymore in a world the way it's gone. I mean, it wasn't so great in her time. Also, the Second World War wasn't that actually a party. She was in London with the Blitz, the place getting blown to pieces. It wasn't exactly good times. So, but what's the answer? Because you have to become, and you're a Yid, and you have the ability to be connected to the Shekhinah and to butter yourself to Hashem, and that they forgot about as Yidden. But now, Baruch Hashem, we have the Tanya, and he's reminding us of the truth of the neshama, so that we can do that mission to bring the neshama back to the world. And that's going to make a big nafkamina in everything you do in life, and a big nafkamina in learning this, because you start to understand the how of creation, and obviously you're going to choose. If this is such a clear picture, I want to be buttered to Hashem. I don't want to be buttered to. I want to be working for the other side. I want to be giving energy to these klipos.
Right.
Just
I
by
wonder
my
if there's like this
lack of
idea
mitzvahs.
within Tanya as we push the way we're understanding it is that the nefesh. Okay. All right.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
We'll talk for Moose. Next week I'm going to be in
the U.S.
wonderful city of New York.
The whole week?
For a few days. Oh, Bobby!
You'll be back by the end?
I'm leaving Sunday night.
Oh, so we got Sunday morning.
Got Sonntag.
So we start the week with some Tanya?
And then I'm landing Thursday, so we'll be back Friday.
So we're going to end the week with Tanya.
We're going to start the week and we're going to end the week.
So we're going to surround it with Torah.
We're going to fill it up with I'm going to go to the cave of the
Oh, the oil?
Yeah, whenever I go...
Please, straight from JFK. That's the best. Please take my names this time. I'm going to give you a list.
I need to fill my neshama up with some sort of bulletproof vest to fight all the sitra achers and klipas in there.
Should be matzliach.
All walking klipas. That's all they are.
Should be matzliach. Yeah, but the amazing thing is, it's Hashem who's giving them chiyas. In the end, it's all Hashem.
Right.
That's the key.
What they do in America?
They're all Hashem in the end, all part of oneness of Hashem, ultimately. That it's up to us. That's we're learning about this, Rav Shlomo. This is exactly what we're learning.
Right.
That was the whole question. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Like how our enemy's evil is. That's the whole thing, to realize it's from Hashem.
It is from Hashem.
This war is from Hashem. My son's situation is from Hashem.
You think instead of John Doe, it's Kevin Klipa. Kevin Klipa.
Yeah, but even in the end, its energy comes from Hashem.
From the back, what are we called?
Behind. Achraim.
The Achraim.
Yeah, we have to bring it back to ponim al ponim. Face-to-face connection.